Be me. 27 years old, working in finance downtown at a firm. Meet a girl named Sienna on a dating app who seems cool. She is 25 and works in marketing for a lifestyle brand. We match and start texting, and the conversation flows well. Ask her out for drinks, and she agrees to meet Friday. Show up, and she looks heavier than her photos by a lot. Not catfishing level, but definitely using angles and filters heavily. But her personality is great, so I decide to see where it goes. We have a good time talking and laughing at the bar. She is funny and smart, and we have similar taste in music. Ask her out again, and we start dating regularly over weeks. The weight thing bothers me a bit, but I try not to focus on it. Few weeks in, and I notice she posts a lot about body positivity. Talks about loving yourself at any size and rejecting beauty standards constantly. Shares posts about fat phobia and how society is cruel to bigger women. I do not really engage with it because it is not my thing, honestly. One night we are watching a movie at her place on the couch. She is eating ice cream straight from the container during the film. I do not say anything, but I notice she does this a lot. Always snacking on something, and her portions are pretty big when we eat. Month into dating, and she brings up that she gained 15 pounds recently. Says it in a way that sounds like she is proud of it somehow. Says she is rejecting diet culture and learning to love her body fully. I just nod and say okay, because I do not know what to say. She asks if it bothers me that she gained weight since we started. I hesitate because I do not want to lie, but also do not want to hurt her. Tell her honestly that I prefer when partners take care of their health. She gets quiet and says that is fat phobic and really hurtful to hear. Tell her I am not fat phobic. I just think health matters in a partner. She says health and weight are not connected the way I think they are. Says you can be healthy at any size, and weight is not an indicator. I do not argue because I can tell this is a sensitive topic for her. Few days later, she sends me articles about body positivity and fat acceptance, about how diet culture is toxic and weight loss is rooted in oppression, about how we need to dismantle beauty standards that harm bigger bodies. I skim them, but honestly do not agree with most of what they say. Tell her I read them, and she asks what I think about it all. Say I think people should do what makes them happy with their bodies, but I also think attraction is not something you can force or control. She says attraction is socially conditioned and can be unlearned over time. Says if I truly loved her, I would find her attractive no matter what. Say that is not how attraction works for me, or most people honestly. She gets upset and says I am proving her point about fat phobia in dating. I try to explain I am just being honest about my preferences here. She starts posting more aggressively about body positivity on social media daily. Every post is about rejecting diet culture and embracing your natural body. Shares before and after photos. But the after is her bigger saying she is happier. I support her posts with likes, but privately I am getting concerned about this. We go out to dinner and she orders a lot of food more than usual. When I look surprised, she says she is done restricting and eating intuitively now. Says her body knows what it needs and she is learning to trust it. I watch her eat way past the point of being full and feel uncomfortable. Ask her gently if she thinks maybe intuitive eating means listening to fullness cues. She snaps and says, I am trying to police her eating like everyone else. Says she expected better from me than diet culture talking points like this. I drop it because I do not want to fight about food at dinner. Notice over the next month, she gains more weight pretty rapidly now. Her clothes are getting tighter, and she complains about nothing fitting anymore, but then says she is not going to buy new clothes in bigger sizes. Says that is giving in to fat phobia, and she will find brands that fit her. I suggest maybe we go to the gym together as a couples activity. She looks at me like I just insulted her entire existence completely. Says gyms are fat-phobic spaces designed to make people hate their bodies. Says she is not going to participate in her own oppression like that. Tell her, I just want us to be active together, not trying to change her. She says suggesting a gym is the same as saying she needs to change. Says if I really accepted her body, I would never bring up exercise. I feel like I cannot say anything without it becoming a fight now. Her friends are all the same way, posting body-positive content constantly online. They all seem to be gaining weight together and celebrating it as resistance. One of them posts a photo in a bikini with the caption, "This is what health looks like." She is easily 250 pounds, and I cannot imagine that is actually healthy at all. Sienna starts bringing her friends around, and they all talk about fat phobia constantly. Every conversation becomes about rejecting beauty standards and diet culture always. They talk about their bodies like being bigger is an act of rebellion against society. I sit there quiet because anything I say will be called fat phobic apparently. One of her friends asks me directly if I think fat people can be attractive. I hesitate because I am being put on the spot in front of everyone here. Say, I think everyone has different preferences and that is okay to have. They all exchange looks like I just confirmed I am a terrible person. Sienna pulls me aside later and says I embarrassed her in front of her friends. Says I should have said yes. Fat people are attractive without hesitation there. Tell her I was trying to be diplomatic and not lie to her friends. She says the fact that I see it as lying proves I am fat phobic. Asks me directly if I am still attracted to her after the weight gain. I pause too long before answering, and she starts crying immediately from that. Says she knew it and that I am just like every other man who is shallow. Tell her attraction is not something I can control. It just is what it is. She says if I loved her, my attraction would not change based on her body. Say love and attraction are different things, and both matter in a relationship honestly. She says that is bullshit, and if I really loved her, I would be attracted always. I do not know how to explain. That is not how it works for me. We take a break for a few days, and I think about whether to continue. I like her personality, but I'm not physically attracted to her anymore at all. She has gained probably 30 pounds since we started dating 3 months ago. And she shows no signs of stopping or caring about health at all. Decide to have an honest conversation with her about my concerns finally. Tell her I care about her, but I am worried about her health long term. She immediately gets defensive and says I am concerned trolling her weight. Says doctors are fat phobic and health is not determined by size or weight. Tell her I cannot be in a relationship where I am not attracted to my partner. She says then, I never really loved her. I just loved her body only. Say, that is not fair. Both things matter in a romantic relationship, obviously. She says she deserves someone who loves all of her unconditionally always. Tell her, I do care about her, but physical attraction is part of romantic love. She says then, I am shallow and fat phobic and exactly what is wrong with men. Says I am a victim of diet culture and cannot see past societal conditioning. I say maybe, but I also cannot force myself to be attracted when I am not. We break up and she posts about it on social media immediately after. Does not name me, but says she just left a fat phobic man who did not deserve her. Says she will find someone who loves her body at any size unconditionally. Her friends all comment supporting her and calling me trash in the replies. Feel bad for hurting her, but also relieved to be out of that situation. The constant policing of everything I said was exhausting to deal with daily. Could not express any concern without being accused of fat phobia every single time. Felt like I was walking on eggshells around her and her friends constantly. Few months later, I see her social media and she has gained even more weight. Probably another 20 pounds based on her recent photos she posted online. All her posts are still about body positivity and rejecting beauty standards always. Her friends hype her up in comments, but I wonder if they are helping her. She posts a photo saying she is the happiest she has ever been now. But her eyes look sad and she is clearly struggling with her health visibly. See her post about knee pain and back pain, but blames it on fat phobia. Says doctors will not treat her real issues because they only focus on weight. Part of me feels bad because I do think she is hurting herself with this. But I also know if I said that she would call me fat phobic again. The body positive movement convinced her that health does not matter at all, that any concern about weight is just society trying to oppress her. Year later, she is still posting the same content, but looks miserable honestly. Her photos show someone who is clearly uncomfortable in her body physically, but she keeps insisting she loves herself and her body exactly as it is. Her friends keep validating her, even though she is obviously struggling with basic movement. One of her friends who I met before has actually lost a bunch of weight. She posts about how she reclaimed her health and feels so much better now. Sienna unfriends her and posts about how diet culture got another victim, sadly. Says she is disappointed her friend fell for society's lies about bodies and health. See, Sienna started dating someone new from her posts and photos online. He is significantly overweight himself, probably over 300 pounds easily from photos. They post photos together about body positivity and fat liberation constantly now. Part of me wonders if she settled for someone because she knew her options were limited. She posts about how her new boyfriend loves her body unconditionally, unlike her ex. Says he does not try to control what she eats or suggest exercise ever. Says he accepts her completely and does not have fatphobic views about health. Wonder if he is actually attracted to her or just in the same situation she is. They both keep gaining weight together based on the photos over months. Every post is them eating large amounts of food and celebrating their bodies. They call it radical self-love, but it looks like mutual destruction to me. Neither of them seem happy. They just seem like they are coping together now. Think about how the body positive movement sold her a lie that hurt her, told her that health does not matter, and weight is just a social construct, told her that anyone who cares about her weight is fat-phobic and wrong always. She bought into it completely, and now she is trapped in a body that limits her. Her life looks so much smaller than it did when we first started dating. She does not do active things anymore because her body cannot handle it now. Her world revolves around the internet and her online body positive community only. She gave up so much in the name of self-love, but she does not look loved. Wonder if she ever thinks about how different things could have been. Maybe. If she had listened to concerns instead of labeling everything fat-phobic immediately. If she had focused on actual health instead of just accepting weight gain as resistance. If she had realized that attraction matters in relationships, and that is okay. The movement told her she could have everything without changing anything about herself. That men who were not attracted to bigger bodies were just conditioned by society. That she deserved love regardless of how she treated her body or health overall. But reality does not work that way, no matter how much you want it to. She lost a relationship because she chose the movement over self-reflection honestly. She chose validation from strangers online over honest feedback from someone who cared. She chose to believe that weight does not matter over the obvious reality that it does. And now she is stuck in a body and life. She convinced herself she loves, but clearly does not. Sometimes I wonder if I should have tried harder to help her see the truth. But I know she was not ready to hear it and would have just called me fat-phobic. The movement had her convinced that any concern was oppression, not care for her well-being. There was nothing I could have said that would have broken through that wall. Feel sad for her, because she deserves better than what that movement sold her. Deserves to actually feel good in her body instead of just pretending online constantly. Deserves to be healthy and active and free instead of limited by her weight. But she will never get there as long as she believes health and weight are unrelated. The body positive movement destroyed her chance at happiness by lying to her about reality. Told her she could ignore her health and still have everything she wanted in life. Told her anyone who did not accept her at any size was the problem, not her choices. And she believed it completely until she lost someone who actually cared about her future. Sometimes being shattered is the only way to rebuild yourself into something better, maybe. But she chose to stay broken and call it empowerment instead of facing the truth. And that is the saddest part of all of this that happened between us, honestly. She had a choice and she chose the lie because it was easier than the work.